Hey everybody, Tamarack's Treehouse coming at you with the next installment. The party has now ventured through a couple different trials. They've gone through the earth plane, they've gone through the water plane, and now they are about to experience the trial of air. So just as a quick recap, they were entering into a place with a covenant of the auric iris, then trying to figure out where this princess is at, and they were told that they had to undergo these specific trials that told the story of the making of the world of Soralia, which is our world. And the monk tells the story of this cosmic dance between Selûne and Shar and how the elements were formed from this dance in a specific order. We've got earth, water, air, fire, and life, which is not represented on the table right now. So they had to undergo these trials to progress on to find the princess, which is trying to become a member, or is captured or kidnapped or something. They're trying to figure that out by this covenant. So they've already undergone a couple of the trials, and today they ventured off into the air trial. So when they enter this room, they see a candelabra with a couple, 3 candles on it. 2 of them are lit, 1 is unlit. Small, quick puzzle. They just had to figure out that if they blew air on the unlit candle, it would teleport them into the plane. That actually took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So here they come out into this portal, and they see this world, the elemental plane, which is just clouded land masses, or just fluffy clouds all over the place. Tornadoes whipping and whirling. You can hear the wind. You can feel the strength, the power of the whipping winds coming around. You've got lightning crashing down from up above. You've got the night's endless sky going on into eternity. Clouds moving along the plane of air. And they've got a little airship here. And from the other planes that they've trialed, they notice that this plinth right here, which was unlit for them, it'll be lit when they complete it. This is on just for effect right now, but they know this is how they get out, but they don't know what triggers to turn this on just yet. So as they venture forth, they tentatively step on the clouds, thinking they might fall to their death, but instead they have the strange experience of feeling the fluff of the cloud, that they can walk on it, kind of like walking in a bounce house. It's a little awkward, but no hard movement or anything like that. But meanwhile, as they go, some of these air elementals rise up out of the clouds with these strange bells above their heads. As they give perception checks, they can see the twisting tornadoes and more of these air elementals with these bells. Some are smaller than others. Some have larger bells for the larger elementals. There are also some air myrmidons guarding this cage with a large, hulking, lumbering creature inside of it. This cage is made out of transparent air, but it's more of a solid form, almost like glass. I see a very, very large bell at the very back of this area here, and a strange door floating and hovering above the ground. Off in the distance, they can also see another door floating in this area. This area here is supposed to be kind of away from the main area that they're in. And then this strange, like, air genie or air female elemental being riding on this tornado. And as they move along and venture on, and they start to fight some of these air elementals, the bells, they notice, they try to hit the bells and just get them to ring, but while they're hovering above the air elementals, the knockers of the bells are stagnant and still, and they do not ring, just clank. But when the air elemental is taken out, the bell will float down to the ground, and the party is able to ring and jingle the bell. And when that happens, they notice that this glass-like air transparent cage starts to shake. All of the air elementals rage out with their wispy air-like screams, and as though they are angry or in pain. One of my party members actually conjured an air elemental, and I have another one that speaks primordial. So they had the air elementals speak to the other air elementals, and it gave them clues like traitor. And the one air elemental said, "Give me the bell," and the other one said, "No, traitor," something along those lines. And first, every time they took out one of these air elementals and this cage shook, the party questioned whether they were going to be freeing this monstrosity air elemental that's inside, and wondering if that was a smart idea. But later they discovered that maybe this air elemental needs to be free in order to take care of this female air genie or daughter of Akkadi. They haven't figured that out yet, of course, but the Akkadi being the queen of the air elemental plane. This is one of her corrupted daughters, and she has essentially taken over this area of the elemental plane, which does belong to this, a prince of air. And this air elemental is trapped, and all the other air elementals have conspired against it, mutinied, so to speak, or are underneath her control. And these bells, every time one is rung, will resonate a sound frequency that will eventually break this cage and free this air elemental. So they have a couple choices. One, they could try to take her on by themselves and see how that goes. She's going to be pretty powerful. Or they can free this air elemental and hope that he does not turn against them, and instead aids them in taking out the the daughter of Akkadi, thereby reclaiming his domain and gaining control over the wild, raging air elementals that have seemingly turned against him. The party has ventured forth, taken out a couple of these air elementals, have tried to piece this together and figure out that they need to go from this door to teleport over here, at which point they will be able to encounter her. We've got a little Tensor's floating disc there with a treasure chest on it. What lies in store? We've got some living lightning spells that they've had to encounter. Again, we got larger air elementals, smaller air elementals, some air myrmidons going on here. We've got the really cool Warcraft elementals that they might do something a little bit different. We had our gunslinger that wound up actually destroying this large bell. This one made such a deafening crack. I've got it so that this glass cage has some hit points attached to it, but the hit points only seem to drop by these bells. So we've got like 25 hit points for the small bells, 50 hit points for the large bell, and then we got 100 hit points for this gigantic bell over here, which of course also, every time the larger bell rings, it also hinders the party because their hearing is affected because of the large sound. So really just the build here, we've got the light panels are from Dwarven Forge. I'm sure some of you have seen these before, but they're all connected. They've got this light pentiometer, I don't know how to say it, but it's basically a switch that you can turn on and off to make this brighter or not as bright, that type of a thing. For those that don't have the Dwarven Forge light panels or don't want to go and purchase those on Amazon, you could also get these tracing light panels that are significantly cheaper and thinner. They're not as durable, I don't think, as the Dwarven Forge ones, but they have the same effect. You can light them up just using a little switch over here, and it's a USB plug, which is pretty cool. So we've also got just plain stuffing to go around, doll stuffing, pillow stuffing, that kind of thing that I ripped up all over the place to get the cloud effect. We've got little lights under here that I have a switch that has them fading in and out to give that blue effect underneath, which I thought was really cool. We've got some 3D printed minis. These tornadoes I thought were awesome. They came from the Drakenheim Kickstarter, which I thought was really great for this encounter. Some basic air elementals. I got some little bells off of Amazon and used some paper clips, which was a really cool suggestion online because I didn't think about it. I couldn't figure out how to get the bells hovering above the elementals, and paper clips work. We've got the old Game of Thrones mountain castle, or the mountain, the wall, piled up here so we can get some of these light panels up on top of them as well and give some sort of an elevation as well. And underneath everything, I've got some clear tumbler glasses just to hold everything up and still give the appearance as though they are above the clouds. We've got the combat tier elevation stands to help keep some of the stuffing at the higher level as well. And then just some Dwarven Forge clear ice terrain lined up along with the old ice spells just to kind of block things off and give it that experience like it's almost like a room or an area. So we've got some whim whipping. We've got some lightning cracking up on the sky there. We've got the projector going with some moving clouds, of course. And then the cool thing is I only have one of them now, but I do have fans going off in the background. I had two of them, but The other one's in use upstairs right now. But I had two of them whipping around as high as they can go, so I did make sure that the party knew to dress warm for this encounter as they're sitting here, and there are fans blowing on them all over the place to help give that immersive experience of air being whipped around. So I hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you did, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow, and I just do this for fun. So if you have any feedback or comments or anything along those lines, I really appreciate it. So the end of this encounter really will basically be once they decide to either free this guy or take out the daughter of Katie there. And all the bells are rung effectively. This will light up and spin, and they can make their way back here, and they touch it one at a time. They will get portaled back into the main room where they can rest up, and then we will get ready for fire plane. So again, everybody, thanks, take care, and I really appreciate you tuning in.